Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to YSN, the MVCA Playoff Preview Show here at the Saxon Club, brought to you by our friends at Belleria. Look who we got. This guy right here. He needs no introduction, but he wants to bust my chops as soon as he sits down at the table. Sean Guerriero of the Springfield Tigers. Coach, first off, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm just glad you had me here and invited me out.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, in all seriousness, another great season for you guys. You continue to roll on, obviously battling a little adversity at the beginning of the season and just keep on cooking. And now you get to another playoff and you know, are the kids focused in? I mean, is it tough to keep them focused throughout the season when you have seasons of the last two that they know that the ultimate goal is the state championship?
Well, I think our kids, just have to know that we have to continue to get better week by week.
Yeah.
I think week one was a wake-up call for our kids. Obviously you're excited for the opening of it, but that was something where it was a great challenge for us just to see how good we would be week one. And I think our kids have gotten better, throughout the season. I think our seniors do a good job of keeping our team focused and making sure we have things to work on or just a little thing. So I think it's been a positive experience for our kids again this year.
Yeah, you guys salivate this time of year. I mean, it is like your time of year. Bo, obviously, is a guy that has gotten such notoriety around the area, collecting awards left and right, and he's got a target. I mean, you guys have had a target on your back for 3 years now. I mean, is there a different philosophy? Is there a different energy in the locker room? What is it that is going to take your team from this close to raising the trophy at the end of the year?
Well, I just think that I think from year to year, there's a lot of different challenges that your team ends up facing. I thought this year that with a lot of kids that were coming back and had experience, we also had kids that had zero experience. We have, I would say, week one, 5 or 6 kids that were in spots they've never been in, never had any varsity playing time. And I think now being in week 10 or going into week 11, I don't consider those kids, sophomores, juniors that have never played before. Those kids have experience. They've been through a lot of different looks and a lot of different situations. So I think right now for us to be healthy and to be moving on to week 11 is a positive.
It's going to be crazy saying this, but I felt like going into the season, you guys were an underdog almost because of what you lost. And people were saying, they lost too much, that they can't get back to where they were. And then you go out and you prove it week in and week out. I mean, was that something you guys looked at as well? Did you read any of the newspaper clippings or online and kind of look at that?
I try to keep our kids focused on us. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. We just got to make sure that we end up doing the little things right and making sure, like I said, we continually get better. I think, between Adam Slopek and Mark Brungard, I think we do a lot of different things. I think we got a lot of stuff in the bank right now that we've been able to practice and work on throughout the season. I think it keeps those kids engaged. Coming from last year and losing Clay, I think our kicking game from week 1 to week now has gotten a lot better with Casey Kosick's done a great job throughout the season, getting a ton of reps. Jake Joyce punted for us last year, but he's done a good job of getting better. So I think, on those things that we might have been unsure of, now coming into week 11, I think, we got our feet wet and we should be ready to go for a run here.
Cuz?
You've done it for 2 years. Saturday night again. So from a ritual standpoint, is there anything changed for you maybe or something that you learned over the last 2 years that you'll try to tweak a little bit as you prepare for this stretch?
Well, I think for us, and I do talk to our players, that's something that the first year run that we ended up having, we gave them Sundays off. And last year we actually had the kids come in just for a quick hour, just to make sure we got a quick lift, stretch. We ran them, ice baths, things of that nature, where our kids were taking care of our bodies. And the kids like that a little bit better than the first year. So we're going to stay with that. But I think you've got to talk to the kids and listen to them a little bit, because they kind of know. Then it shortens up a couple of our practices throughout the week by getting that out of the way. And I've been blessed with a great staff. Those guys do a great job. We had a staff meeting this morning, just making sure that the schedule for this week was set, making sure we got kids in the right spots. And even with our younger kids, and we talked today about our scout team. That's a part where we got to make sure we're putting the kids on the scout team that we have to, and we had a lengthy discussion about that. But that matters. Our players in our program matter. About if we're going against a good Springfield team, that means our younger kids are getting better, and I think that's a huge key to our success. So, I even think I always give a shout out to Mark Carden, because we played a lot of freshman games. We played a lot of JV games this year. So our whole team you know what I mean, from top to bottom has gotten better this year because, I think we played probably 15 freshman and JV games. So I just think throughout, right now our scout team is going to be a key of our success in the next couple of weeks.
All right, so I'm just getting this vision of you on a Sunday morning when the playoffs pairings are released. You're sitting in your chair with your legs crossed, doing Sudoku or reading the dictionary or something like you usually do. And then it comes out you're playing Western Reserve, a team you're very familiar with. What are the challenges and what are the advantages of playing a team that's right down the road?
Well, I think it's a good team and a bad team because you're familiar with them. You know what they do. You know they have a great program, and they're going to come out and battle us. So I think for our kids, it's going to be excited more. We have another home game for our seniors. They got another chance to play at our stadium. I think that atmosphere has been awesome. So I just know it'll be a battle. Come Saturday night, and our kids will be ready.
Did you win Sudoku?
No, I don't do that. If you know me, and everybody else who knows me, I'm usually bouncing off the wall about 6 o'clock in the morning.
I would never imagine him actually
sitting in a chair as a family member. He doesn't do a whole lot of sitting in chairs. There's no doubt. You went to a point that I want to ask you. You played a lot of new guys last year, or this coming season. So you talked about those scout guys. Did you see that from them? Do you see those guys just develop in those 5 extra weeks of practice?
Oh, they do. I talk about that all the time with now we've had 10 extra weeks the past 2 years. That's a whole other season. Right. So getting those extra reps are definitely important. And we just got to know now it's next week we might not be talking about week 12. So we just need to make sure that we're doing everything right now. Still with COVID, there's challenges to make sure the kids are doing the right thing outside of school, and inside of school. So our kids take it very serious. I think our senior leadership is awesome at that point, just because of the challenge that you have, every day of kids getting quarantined and things of that nature. So there's not a kid in our building that doesn't come in with a mask on, and they do those little things because it's important to them.
Coach Sean Guerriero, the Springfield Tigers, sitting down with us. Coach, best of luck week 11, and I'm sure we'll do some coaches' corners and maybe a little level up. But the caveat is, you said I have to jump a little higher because your vert is a little bit higher.
The table has to stay still, right?
Yeah.
You said the
maybe
table
we'll keep all the things on the table this time.
That was one of my best memories throughout the playoff is when you knocked everything over on the display table for pregame.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah,
mine too. Sean Guerriero of the Tigers. We'll be back after this, right after our break.